Hello, this is Dean Phoenix with another of the battles against the Dark Aeons. This one is Dark Bahamut, who is one of the most difficult of the Dark Aeons, compared especially to the first four, so poweful, Dark Bahamut, Dark Ifrit, Dark Shiva, and Dark Ixion. Easier of the Dark Aeons, and there's a definite increase in difficulty as you go to Dark Bahamut, Dark Yojimbo, and then again with Dark Anima. And finally the Dark Major Sisters if you choose to fight them together. So Dark Bahamut is here in the ruins of Zanarkand. It's where you fought Yuna, and this is why it's very important to grab the Sun Crest for Tidus' celestial weapon the first time through, because if you don't grab it when you first fight Yuna, Dark Bahamut is waiting, and he is an extremely strong enemy. Dark Bahamut's an interesting one, because although he doesn't have the highest HP out of the difficult Dark Aeons, he has 4 million compared to, say, Dark Anima's 8 million, it's a very difficult fight because of his counterattack impulse. Now, for this particular battle, this is an example of me doing it with what I would consider the lower end of the luck that you can use, and I've used first strike characters, so characters all having first strike weapons, and then subbing my main party of Tidus, Riku, and Waka. Now my characters here have 85 luck, and Dark Bahamut has 102, and that means because his luck is higher, unless you have equal luck or higher than him, you will not always hit him. So it's very important that you use aim a few times, or use Riku's mix with ult, which I mixed with human experience there, to get the aim times 5 bonuses, or use aim 5 times individually. Now this is the big problem with fighting Dark Bahamut, and this is why this fight is actually quite reminiscent of fighting Penance and needs a lot of patience, and that is because after every 5 attacks, whether you hit him or not, 5 direct attacks, he will use a counterattack called Impulse. Now the damage isn't outrageous, as you can see there, with 255 defense and auto protect. It's not that bad, but as you can see, it inflicts full break on all of your characters, and it's also the reason that you need to have Stoneproof or Riven on every character's armor. So here in this battle, Riku has auto protect, auto phoenix, auto haste, and Riven, and the other 2 characters have auto protect, auto haste, auto phoenix, and Stoneproof, and that is because the impulse counter will deal Petrify, so it can shatter your characters if they take too strong a hit and get Stoneproof, and that should be extremely difficult to deal with. And Full Break is a severe problem as well, because you have to dispel it before Dark Bahamut gets turns. So even though his Overdrive doesn't go up too quickly, you will have to face his Overdrive quite a few times, because you'll have to take other turns in healing your characters and in dispelling the Full Break, because you don't want the characters to die if you can at all help it. So what you need to be doing there is you need to be making sure that your characters keep their HP as high as possible, so you'll need a good stock of healing waters, which you can get by bribing. You need those, or a good stock of Mega Elixirs to be able to quickly heal your whole party. Alternatively, you can have Riku mix trio of 999, and you can use that to make it so that all of your Albed potions or Mega Potions also heal all of your whole party for 9,999 damage. So the thing that you have to do in this fight, and this is why I say it's reminiscent of Penance, and it's one of the more interesting tactical fights when you're fighting the Dark Aeons, is that you have to count how many times you have attacked Dark Bahamut, because, and especially if his Overdrive is full, you do not want him to use Impulse and then Mega Flare. And you need to give yourself enough turns to make it so that you don't take hits when you have Full Break inflicted on your characters, because the fight becomes that much harder if you are wanting to fight him, and it basically, if the characters die, then they'll lose the bonuses from aim if your luck isn't high enough to hit him consistently anyway, and so that's another thing you have to take into account. This is one of the reasons why I prefer having 114 luck, because if you're using the optimal method of grinding fortune spheres, the difference between 85 and 114 luck is not that much. It's about 7 fortune spheres per character, if I remember, and that's not very much at all if it's taking you 1 minute per fight. So if you follow my stat maxing guide, I would recommend getting 114 luck instead. But this fight is showing you how you would do it if you had a lower luck stat. Now, in this particular game, you can see that Yuna has extremely low HP, and you're going to do that. So if you've not actually maxed the stats of Yuna, then you need to be making sure that she has Stoneproof armor as well, and ideally SOS Haste or Auto Haste on that armor. And that is because if that Bahamut catches your party with Impulse attack while Yuna's in, and she doesn't have Stoneproof, then it will deal so much damage to her that it will shatter her as a character, and you'll have to fight him with just 2 characters, and you'll not be able to summon Aeons any longer to shield against Mega Flare. The reason that you want to be shielding against Mega Flare instead of just using Auto Life is because not only does it do the 40,000 to 45,000 damage that will kill your characters outright, but it also inflicts heavy delay on all of those characters, so it takes you longer to recover, and it means you get less turns to heal up your party and deal with Impulse and get back to actually dealing damage to Dark Bahamut. So it's a very interesting fight, and it's definitely worth making sure that you have Haste on Yuna, and that you try, if at all possible, try and make it sure that she doesn't get hit. So Dark Bahamut's other attack that he can do is just a straightforward attack, and you can see here that Impulse is going to do all of that damage first. And that's why it's so important that Yuna has Stoneproof, because if she'd got hit by that attack and it had done that much damage, if she was petrified, then it would shatter her as a character and she would be down to 2 characters. So that's why it's extremely important that you keep your characters all maxed and at high health, and that Yuna has Stoneproof, so that even if she doesn't have high stats, you can cast Haste on her, try and get her a turn to get her out, and get your 3rd character back in for attacking. So you see here, sometimes you're going to have to prioritise what you actually need to do with the turns that you have if you don't have enough turns to be able to do it. So ideally now the goal is to get Yuna out and swap her back for Waka, but because I had to dispel the break on Tidus, I wasn't able to actually get her out, so we're going to have to cast Haste again. But now that's the safest route to take, is just to dispel all of the characters. One other skill that you can make good use of in this particular battle is when you are able to use the Sentinel command. Now Sentinel is interesting because Dark Bahamut's other regular attack is just this normal attack, and again you see he focuses on Yuna and kills her there. So again that's going to mean that I've got less time to actually get her out, because I'll need to be casting Haste again. But if you were to use Sentinel, then Tidus or Riku could take the hit, and you would preferably use Tidus or Waka, because they will be able to actually counterattack and get an extra hit in as well. So you see here, it's just Auto Phoenix is keeping Yuna alive, and then trying to get Haste on her, get her a turn, and get her out again. So it's an interesting balancing act. Now obviously this is much easier if Yuna has max stats, so if you did follow my stat maxing guide and you have raised those stats so that anime stats were higher and you could max your magic, as a consequence of that, Yuna would either be able to survive these hits like the other characters have if you had made her a proper armour with the Auto Haste, Auto Protect, Auto Phoenix and Stoneproof, or at the very least she would be fast enough with high agility and either Auto Haste or SOS Haste to be able to actually get her turns a little quicker and swap her back into Waka and deal more damage. So one of the other things you have to take into consideration is that normal attack of Dark Bahamut. He, as you can see there, can do critical hits. I don't know if you noticed, but it's a very slightly different animation. You can see when it hits, it has the critical hit flash, and so that is just basically what it's showing you there, is the fact that Dark Bahamut's normal attack can do a critical hit as well. So you do have to have the auto protect, and if you use Ultra Nul-All to cast the aims, then it's a very good idea, because it'll raise your defense, because it'll have cheer times 5 at the same time. But Dark Bahamut's counter can do a massive amount of damage, which is why you need the maximum defense, maximum HP. You need to keep that HP up, and ideally also use Sentinel. It's a turn where Dark Bahamut's going to do a normal attack, so you can get another counterattack in with either Tidus or Waka's Celestials, and Orin and Kimari's have that as well, because they each have a counterattack or evade and counter skill. So again, same thing here, you just cycle through your Aeons. It's very important that you manage Yuna's turns to be able to make sure that she can always take Mega Flare. If for any reason you aren't able to manage Yuna's turns and she keeps getting knocked out like she did in this fight, but you're not able to block, get her a turn, switch her back in if she's already in the party and she isn't going to get a turn to be able to block the Mega Flare attack, it's extremely important that you mix Riku's Hyper Mighty G, or you cast Auto Life on all of your characters manually. Hyper Mighty G can be mixed by using a Lunar Curtain, a Light Curtain or a Star Curtain, and mixing them with a Gambler's Spirit. That's the mixed version that I always use to get Hyper Mighty G, because you have a lot of Gambler Spirits and you don't need to customize SOS Overdrive, so I use those for Riku's Overdrive mixes with her high level mixes instead. Mix one of those with a Curtain, and then that would instantly put auto life on all 3 of your characters, and that would allow you to survive Mega Flare. But like I say, it's not ideal to do that, because then you would have to either use Cheer or Aim again if you need those, and then you would also be struggling to cast Ultra Nul-All because you'd have just used Riku's Overdrive. So you can see there, that's the use of Sentinel, and that will allow us to protect Yuna from Dark Bahamut's normal attack, and we're able to get her out so that she can be brought in safely next time Mega Flare is due to be used. Now Waka died there, as you'll have noticed, because he was still under the full break status from the impulse counter, and so in order for him to consistently hit that button again, he may need to have the cheers used, or for Riku to use Ultra Nul-All again. So these are the considerations you have to take into account, and this is why the minimum luck that you can use for the higher Dark Aeons and Penance is 35 luck, because you can use that level of luck and then use either Aim 5 times or Riku's Ultra Nul-All to be able to apply Aim 5 times all by itself. And what that basically does is it gives you enough accuracy and luck to be able to hit Dark Bahamut and the later Dark Aeons, even though you've only got 35 luck on your characters. But it's much more difficult to manage. If you can imagine doing this fight with 35 luck, and any time the characters get killed, then they're not able to actually hit Dark Bahamut again until you've redone the Aim and the Ultra Nul-All. It's extremely difficult, so you have to be careful when you're doing that. And basically, you have to take it into consideration if you're using 35 luck, and that is why I would say that you want to get more of that, and that is why I said 85-14 are better for the actual stat maxing process. But if you are careful with Dark Bahamut and you don't let Impulse catch you off guard, and you're consistently using Dispel to get rid of the breaks, he is beatable, and you shouldn't have too many problems with him. But I did find it one of the more difficult fights, having not played the game for a while, because you are having to count the turns on quick hit and everything else, and using his attacks. There are a few other things to mention. If you're really struggling with this fight, one of the things you can do is have the characters basically have 3 of the male characters with their Celestials and counterattack abilities, so Oran, Kimari, Waka and Tidus, and then just use them with having used Aim 5 times and Cheer 5 times, and never attack Dark Bahamut. And then every time he hits you with his regular attack, the characters will counter, and you will just very, very gradually hit him and counter him down, and they will just make sure that they're healed up, and then you should still have enough turns purely from counter-attacking to be able to do enough damage and kill him, and then basically use Yuna to block Mega Flare with all of the Aeons, and you can just about take him out that way. Now it is a bit more boring if you're doing it that way, but it's an option if you're really struggling. The reason that I say that this particular thing is reminiscent of Penance, this fight is reminiscent of Penance, is because the counting turns and things like that is going to be very important when you are fighting Penance, and particularly the arms of Penance, because they will always take a set number of turns. You want to hit them 6 times. You'll be wanting to get used to counting how many turns it takes to actually take out the arms, and so that Bahamut battle is good practice for doing that. I hope you found that useful, or at least interesting. Please like and subscribe, and it does help my channel and with the likes and everything else. And please make sure that you sub for any of the other Final Fantasy X walkthroughs and tip videos, or other things such as the Break HP Limit walkthrough that we're working on currently. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.